Over the last few days, I've been going rather insane trying to figure out why The Last of Us TV show just feels so fundamentally different from the source material. And after doing some research on what's going on behind the scenes, it's all starting to make a lot more sense. So for those of you who don't know, Craig Mazin has been the head writer for the last 5 episodes of Season 2. And while a lot of people have been using the argument that Neil Druckmann has been heavily involved in Season 2, therefore all the changes make sense, that simply isn't true. Neil hasn't been as in control as many people thought he was, and for all intents and purposes, The Last of Us TV show is Craig Mazin's product. And even though he's made some pretty good seasons of TV previously, I unfortunately believe that Craig is completely incompetent when it comes to understanding the source material of Game 2. Specifically, when it comes to Ellie. And the first point of evidence that I want to bring attention to is the fact that originally, Craig Mazin didn't want to include the scene in the theater where Ellie begins to sing Joel's song, but stops. This was something that Neil had to push him to include. Originally, he just wanted Ellie to sing a random different song. And after seeing the episode, it actually makes a lot of sense that this scene had to basically be forced into the show. Especially since we should have gotten a scene at the start of episode 1 where Joel plays Ellie the song for the first time. In excluding this scene with Joel at the start of the TV show, and being forced to include this one with Ellie, it's clear to me that Craig doesn't seem to understand that Ellie's grief and depression regarding Joel is what pushes her forwards. This also helps explain why Ellie's vibe has been off the entire season. Craig doesn't understand her grief at all. Unfortunately, however, this misunderstanding doesn't end here. One of the most frustrating things for me this season is how incompetent Ellie has been. Ellie basically calls herself stupid, and has to have simple things explained to her. From basic battle strategies to not knowing how to use a simple map, it very much feels like the Dina show right now. Dina is the one who gets Ellie to Seattle. Dina is the one planning everything out. And Dina is even the one who seems to be more motivated by revenge. I'm starting to wonder why Ellie is even here half the time, if I'm being honest. And this is definitely reflected in their relationship. By this point in the game, Dina and Ellie are starting to drift due to Ellie's need and desire for revenge. But in the TV show, Dina actively feeds into it and seems to have to remind Ellie why she should be mad in the first place. Compare this Ellie to the one in the game, who is very competent, independent, intelligent, and driven. It just feels like we have 2 entirely different characters at this point. Furthermore, on a recent podcast, Craig stated that during the stalker scene, Dina and Ellie have a parent-child relationship, that each one of them takes turns being the parent, while the other is the child. This point is only furthered by Jesse coming in to save Ellie, with her thinking that it was Joel for half a second before realizing that it wasn't. And this mindset of treating Ellie like she is still a child unfortunately makes a lot of sense considering the way that she's acted this season. One of the more frustrating parts about Season 2 is how Ellie is immature and borderline insufferable, with her cracking jokes at the wrong moments, screaming at the top of her lungs that she's immune, and just all in all acting totally out of character. And with this statement from the head writer saying that he still views Ellie as a sort of child, it now makes perfect sense as to why Ellie feels so off. The writer just doesn't understand her at all. I feel that in many ways, Craig still views Ellie as the character from Game 1, not acknowledging the grief, not acknowledging the growth, and not acknowledging the journey that she has been on. And unfortunately because of this, we are left with a far weaker character than what we could have had. But there is some good news, potentially. For the next 2 episodes, episodes 6 and 7, Neil Druckmann is going to be taking a head role in writing and directing the episodes. So I wonder if we will have an episode or 2 that respects the source material more, and in turn, we actually might get a better Ellie. I'm not 100% confident that we will, but hey, all we can really do is hope at this point. Just want to say, thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end of this video, and please let me know in the comments down below, not only what you think about my video, but what you think about The Last of Us Season 2. Peace.